Good evening. It's been one of those weekends. Anyway, we had our first powwow event for this year, which is the graduation powwow at Haskell Indian Nation University, or I don't know. Anyway, we always call it Haskell graduation powwow. It is located in Lawrence, Kansas, and me, my daughter, my mom, and my friend son are usually the ones that help. And I have 3 daughters, so 2 of them are the ones that's usually helping. The third one, she helps with babysitting. Sometimes she'll come. I don't know what this year will hold. Anyway, I apologize if it's a little wiggly because I can't find my tripod. And my 4-year-old granddaughter said that her brother did it. So, and asking a 3-year-old about a tripod and tried to explain what it is. It'll be a lot faster if I just buy another one. Anyway, so on Friday, me and my daughter Caitlin, and she also has a small business you should check out, Katybug Creations, and I will put the information in the box below. Her and I had to work, so we sent my mom and Jojo. We call him Jojo. His name is Joseph, but we call him Jojo. And we sent them off. Setup time was 3:30. Jojo got done with school at 2:30. So my mom picked him up and they head their way. Anyway, so they get there and nothing really changes on setup. We're used to a 10 by 20. This year we did a 12 by 12. So we had a condensed down, smaller space. We've done a 10 by 10, but very few and far between. And we don't set everything else out. Anyway, so when we got there, I am not sure what they were thinking. So we also do sand art. We usually put that in the front, and then on the side we usually have an S shape, which works well in a 10 by 20 but not a 12 by 12. So we get there and there is, it's like an upside down U, like the beading supplies, the loose seed beads and the needles and threads and stuff. They were up front and the sand was on the side, and then there was 2 blank tables. They were just empty, nothing on there, and they had all this stuff except for my crochet items. And I brought my car right from work, and I had some stuff I was working on. We had a before Easter sale, so I had leftover chicks, hatching chicks, and I had like 4 Mabel chickens, and and some stress ball things, and that was it. So so I'll just put a picture in and you can see how the setup is. So after we saw that mess, we decided to do something different for Saturday. And we know being at a powwow, the natives come for seed beads and beading supplies and anything else that is needed, and we sell. So sometimes, let me handle this. Okay, I think I got that handled. Okay, what was I saying? So when we go to powwows and we take the beading supplies, they will buy them. And sometimes people does not walk in a U shape, an open U shape. They don't like walking in, but we were forcing them to. So, oh yeah, Friday, did I mention? I forgot my rest of my crochet items. Yeah, I did. Anyway, so my other daughter, Michaela, and I, and JoJo, we rearranged everything. We moved the beading table to the back. Oh, they also supplied a 10 by 10 table, so we didn't have to worry about that. Anyway, so we just picked that up, move it to the back, and then put the stuffies on one table and a sand art on the other table. And so they had to walk in if they wanted to get to the beads, and they passed the crochet items and the sand art to get there. So anyway, it looked a lot better. I will insert a video so you can see the difference. Oh, that one's spinning real good. I don't know why these aren't spinning. I'll just give my little twirl, little push. It is amazing. Sorry. That's all right. No. We encourage people just to come in.
I just wanted to make sure.
No, I'll work around you. It's fine. Wave high. Okay, so after we revamped our vendor area, we get ready to start working. And I asked, where's the money bag? Well, Friday night I took my car to Lawrence, and everything we brought in Friday night that went home with us is now in my car's trunk. But we took my mom's car Saturday morning to drive back. It was like a 45-minute drive. She wanted to take the travel trailer to sleep there, and I'm like, no, it is too local. We could drive. Now, granted, by the time we got home, it was like 1:30 each night. And by the way, happy Mother's Day. Anyway, so I knew exactly where the money was. It was in the trunk of my car. And so we got there early enough. We had a good parking spot, and my mom did not want to leave. And Michaela, hold on, let me take care of this. I may have gotten that handle. I don't know. I have a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old underneath a plastic tote, and I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. And they're Right now, they're trying to walk around with it. I think this is my permanent face. Anyway, so we have no cash. No petty cash. That is usually what we have in our little fanny packs. We do not have that. Michaela works, she's a waitress, so she has some ones, and my mom has some. She had ones, fives, tens. She had enough to get us started, and we just use Michaela's little waitress book to keep the money in. And then the card, we could only do tap, or we had to manually do it. We could not do any dipping or swiping because that was in the money bag with the dongle thing. So, before we got accepted for the vendor, to be a vendor at the powwow, we knew we were double booking ourselves because my daughter signed up, Caitlin, she signed up for a Saturday night event for books. She does a blind date with the books. So we were both, hold on. Okay, they were playing hide and seek. Her counting is done. Anyway, so she was doing a book event and she took some of the stuffed animals there. And so our credit card transactions, we were doing 2 different locations. Anyway, so we were like limited on what we could do, but still doable, and we were able to function. If my mom wasn't there with her extra cash, we would have had like 9 $1 bills. That is it, because that's what Michaela had, and she didn't want to leave to go to a bank and get startup cash. Anyway, so yeah, there was that mishap, but overall it wasn't bad. And the numbers I'm going to give you, because I don't want to do any extra math, the numbers I give you would be for both of Friday night powwow, Saturday powwow, and the book event that Caitlin was doing. So I will be back with those numbers. So before I give you those numbers, I want you to see grand entry. It's not from the beginning, but it's part of the powwow that I hope you enjoy while I do this little math. that was the grand entry, and it had all the categories in that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy watching the grand entry. It wasn't from the beginning, because in the beginning they bring in the flags. In that case, it was like the Kansas flag and the United States flag and prisoner of war flag, and they did their colors. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Now let's go to the numbers. Okay, so Friday sales was in credit card only, not cash. I'm not doing that much math. I already did earlier with paying the help. Anyway, so just on Square transactions, on Friday night we had $222.87, and then the fees was $6.99, and our net was $215.88. Crochet animals, we did $22 worth, which was like I said, the only thing that I had in the trunk of my car was 4 Mabel chickens, the hatching chicks from the Oak and Marlowe collection of the chickens, and the little stress buddy things. That's it. So I had $22 worth. And then the native related stuff, whether it be earrings or seed beads, needles, that kind of thing, that was $189.10. So that's what we did on Friday. Saturday we had $647.91. The fees were $22.33, and the net was $625.58. Now on Saturday, that is a combined because Caitlin had her book event, and we had the Saturday night powwow. So on the, yeah, I don't know where I'm going. Okay, so $647.91. The fees were $22.33, and the net was $625.58. Now, if I just gave you those numbers again, I am sorry, but I have these kids here that when I don't see them, it makes me worry. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and the kids are back in the living room. I found them in the bathroom with the water running. The last time that happened, I was mowing the yard, and I come in, and they were using the water from the bathroom to make a slip and slide with their mattresses into their bedroom. I do not want that to happen. So when I see that they're supposed to be in the living room and they're not in the living room, I hit pause. So anyway, so I'm back. Okay, so Saturday, the crochet, oh man, I still gotta do math. Let me add this up real quick. $188.50 plus $75.50, 13, 16, $263.50. And then the native stuff was 13, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. $123.70. This is all credit card Square stuff. So crochet items $263.50, and the native related stuff $123.70. So let's add the $22 from Friday night to that, and we got 5, 8, $285.50 for the 2 days. $285.50. So, yeah, that is our total. Now, I will let you know what we sold. Okay, some of the stuff that I have sold is a bee. That was $7. I only sold one. Okay, so some of the items that I have sold, well, all the items that I sold, that is crochet items, is the Annie Caraway cats, and I did the mini Loaf cat. I had them priced for $15, and I sold 2 of them. And then yeah, so she has different patterns, different cat patterns, and she has some dog patterns, so you might want to check that out. I bought it from Etsy, I believe. So yeah. Another thing I sold was 3 eagles. I had them for $10 a piece. It is called Scout Eagle pattern. It's a free pattern on Instagram by Mona Shekel Croc. I hope I did not butcher that. Any of the patterns I will link in the description area. Okay, I gotta pause because my grandson just walked out the door. Door. Okay, so he is back in the house, and I will continue on. So I sold 1 turtle for $12. Fred the Turtle is on Pinterest by CJ Designs. And then there was another turtle that I sold for $15. And hey, Grandma. It used to be a Pinterest pattern, but when I click on that picture, it advertised a video game or something. So I'm not sure where the other turtle pattern came from, but I know it was a Pinterest one. Haven't put all these in yet. Another thing I sold was an octopus for $10, and I'm not sure which one it was because my daughter Michaela sold it, but the different patterns that I have that I've done is I've done Crochet by Jenna, Octopus, Knits and Knots by Amy, Okie Girl Bling and Things, Otis the Octopus. All these are free patterns, so I have made all those octopus, and like I said, I'm not sure which one was for $10. Another thing that was sold was 2 pickles, and that is a Mary Make Pinterest video, so check her out. It is very simple. So after looking, I do not have a picture of my Pickles, my emotional support Pickles, so I'll put her information in the description box. So, I made the mini possum keychains, and I did not put keychains on there, but they're keychain size. And I brought 8 of those, and I sold them for $7 a piece, and I sold 7 out of 8. It was a YouTube video, Murphy Crochet is, yeah, Murphy Crochet is the one that did the YouTube video for the mini possums. The next thing I have a $5 bin, and it has different stuff in there. It has like mice, chickens, whales, worry worms, chicken nuggets, small octopus. A lot of the stuff in there is all from Jade, because she has little tiny items and it doesn't take a lot. So I sell those for $5 in the $5 bin, and there was 8 that was sold from the $8 bin. Another thing that was sold was a snake, and I found this pattern on Pinterest for $10, and I sold 2 snakes. Another thing that was sold was Stress Blobs by Joella Crafts. I sold them for $10 a piece, and I sold 5 of them. And on the container that I had them in, these kids came through and they were just like mangling them, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's gonna break. And I kept telling them, you break it, you buy it. And sure enough, there's one kid that it popped, it broke, and it was all over his arm and on. It was like a deflated ball, stress ball thing, and he's all like, but I didn't want it. And I said, but you broke it. And he's like, but I didn't want it. And I don't understand why he was touching it if he did not want it. Anyway, I was so irritated. And the lady that was with him, she said, would you take 5? I just took the $5 because I was like, I am over this. I'm over this conversation. Gotta go. So after that happened, I put on the container, please be gentle. You break it, you buy it. And hopefully that won't happen again. So there's that. Okay, one last thing. This vendor came up to me and she said, do you have any otters? And I said, I do not have otters. And she said, well, how much would it cost to make one? And I said, well, let me look at a pattern. And I said, but I don't have otter colors. And she said, I don't care what colors you have. It doesn't matter. Just, I want an otter. So I'm like, okay, I'll see what I can find. Okay, hold on a second. Anyway, so she asked, and I started looking at patterns, and I looked on Pinterest. That's my go-to free patterns on Pinterest, and I found 2 of them, and I glanced over it, and Isabella, eat that in here. And I found one, and it was so small and so simple. Like, I didn't have to do any adjustments, like the your bobble stitch lined up and the nose, and it was nice. It was a nice, easy pattern. And I will link a picture of it. I didn't get a good picture of it, but I did get a picture of it. Anyway, this otter is stitched by Faye on Pinterest, and she bought it for $10. But to be honest, I would put it in my $5 bin. It is so simple and easy, especially if you have no interruptions. So, yeah. So that is all of my, all I sold at the powwow. Altogether, I sold 42 items. And yeah, so I like doing this powwow, this graduation powwow. It's free entertainment and I enjoy the people. Native American people are very nice and you learn a lot of things when you go to these events. So I will talk to you guys later, and a message from my granddaughter.
I got the monster.
Mother's Day.
I killed the monster.
Thank you
Thank you
for your service.
for your service. I know your kids is wild
And Farrell.
and feral, and we still love you anyway. Thumbs up and like and subscribe.
Say that again.
And like and subscribe.
Yeah, what she said. Thank you. And happy Mother's Day.